All right, guys, got the 55 four-door parked around behind my house. It is really nice. I mowed the yard yesterday and I could actually move it around, so that's pretty cool. I had an old license plate, 1955 Oklahoma license plate. I'd actually spray painted that, and it's been in a box. Kind of tried to restore it back when I first got it. And so yesterday I just kind of took some steel wool to it and kind of roughed it up a little bit. I'm going to let Mother Nature take care of it the rest of the way, because it did get quite a bit of bare metal spots. Try to get a little patina on it there. But anyway, so I did get all the glass in the car. I did not put my trim clips on the back window because I'm going to be pulling the back glass back out when I go to do all my metalwork and bodywork and paint. But I'm going to have to end up finding another back glass anyway. This one's got some chips in it. There's several on the other side as well. Now, one thing I want to talk about for sure was this blue velvet sticker. Does anybody have any idea what the heck that is? My wife thought it might have been an old Avon cologne, but I think she's thinking of Aqua Velva, and she still may be right. I don't know. Anyway, there's one on the other side too, but I thought it was pretty cool. Somebody put those on, and they look pretty old, you know. Anyway, this door glass and this door glass has been replaced. I don't know if they were, you know, bought new from a catalog or if they were actually cut at a glass shop. This is laminated, you know. But these are really, really nice. No delamination, no bubbles, no milking. Just really, really nice. That's the only two, though. The others are junk. But the back glass was, or the windshield was already in it. But all the other glass was out of it, so I just went ahead and put it in there. It's basically to keep the rain out of it, the majority of the rain out of it, because the weather stripping on the doors and everything's pretty shot. But anyway, it's to keep the riffraff out of it, like all the neighborhood cats and raccoons or whatever else we got out here. I did set the hood on it. It is not bolted down, it's just sitting on here because one of the hinge, where the hinge attaches to the other side under the hood, is one of the nuts fell out. So I'm gonna have to cut into that and do some repair on it. This window's broken, this window's broken, and this window's broken. Thank goodness they're laminated, so they stayed together. But anyway, they'll do exactly what I need them to do right now. But show you a little something here. So every night for the last few weeks, about 30 minutes before I went to bed, I would work on some parts trying to restore them. You know, normally in a restoration you would basically have everything re-chrome, but I just didn't want to do that with this car. So I went through a tote. I have a tote full of speedometers and speaker bezels, and I kind of picked out the best ones I had that the chrome was good on. Now they still have, you know, pits and stuff like that in them, but pretty nice overall. Anyway, I changed this mesh out with the one that was with this bezel because it had a big old ding in it. But anyway, I removed the mesh from another one and put it on, and then the script, I cleaned it up, and it's actually from this car. This piece is from a different car, and even this piece is from a different car. Anyway, I just sanded everything down and painted it and then put it all back together. Now what I do is to get the screen out, there's some pressed rivets holding that to that bezel, so you have to grind the heads off with a little grinder, which I used a little angle grinder with a 36 roll lock on it. Did it really quick. And then you drill it and tap it. And I've got these really, really tiny Phillips screws, fine thread, but the problem is I don't have any washers that small, so I'm going to have to go to the hardware store and get some washers for it. So it's actually just sitting on there with the studs. But anyway, it will eventually screw on there. These are just sitting on the dash, just basically to store them, get them out of the way. Now the speedometer, the whole instrument cluster is from a different car. Actually, it's made up of about 3 to 4 other speedometer clusters that I had here. And the chrome on that one is not too bad either. It does have a few pits, but it ain't nothing like the one that came with this car. I put a new lens in it, and I cut new lenses out of some green clear plastic and made my own turn signal lenses there for the arrows. Now I still have to put the temp gauge in it, but I basically just set it in there for now. I also took the speedometer head out of it and took the plug off the side and the felt insert out and lubed it with some 3-in-1 oil and put it all back together. The speedometer that came with this car, the needle was broken off of the speedometer head, so I ended up having another one and I put it in there, but I did take my numbers for the mileage, the odometer, and I did put them into that one. So that is the mileage that was on the car, which I know for sure it's 136,000 because the wear and the brake pedal and the clutch pedal and all that stuff before, when I took all that stuff out, had some pretty bad wear on it. You know, it's metal on metal with no bushings, so it's going to be worn. Anyway, I love it. The car will start. You pump it a couple times, it'll start, run, and I drove it around here. I mean, it's just freaking awesome. If the tires were in better shape, I'd actually drive it around the housing edition, but they are about ready to explode. I mean, they are coming apart, actually, in places. The rubber is separating from the cords. So this thing wobbles like crazy. It's like you're driving on 4 bent rims. But I'll show you this. This is the last thing I restored and actually finished it up last night. This is the deluxe heater control assembly. Now this bezel, the chrome on it is actually pretty nice for its age. It does have a couple of nicks and maybe a couple of little pits, but otherwise it's pretty nice. It is the original lens. I just cleaned it up and polished it. In case you don't know, those plastic lenses, you can use Mother's Mag and aluminum polish on a microfiber rag and it will polish that plastic. It'll look brand new when you're done. Just do it by hand. I did have to put a new lever set in it because the levers were broke off. That's pretty common on 55 and 56. So I put new levers in, and I actually had an extra set of knobs new in the package. I had double ordered when I did my hardtop. I guess I ordered 2 sets, but anyway, I put those on there. And another thing, in case you don't know, the switch for your fan speed for your blower motor, you can take the back off of that, bend those 4 tabs up and pull the back off. There's 3 little contacts in there, and then there's a slider contact in there, and you can clean them up with Scotch-Brite. And basically I did a little bit of dielectric compound on there and then put it all back together, and this thing works awesome. I had it all bench tested it with a battery and a blower motor I had. So easy repair. It's just contacts, you know, because I think a new switch is like 40 bucks. But anyway, this car, like I said before, it's just going to be a driver, so I mean, it's good enough, but at least some of the chrome stuff's pretty decent on it, you know. But I do have a deluxe heater core and a valve. I was planning on taking that to a radiator shop I know of and having pressure test it and everything, make sure it's okay. But that thing's been on the shelf for about 15 years. It wasn't a car that had antifreeze in it, and it wasn't ever leaking, but who knows, you know, what can happen between now and then. But anyway, I am pretty happy. The car is a runner driver and it moves. It's got a little company out here, but anyway, now I think I am going to move it over here on the other side of the car just to get it out from under the trees out here, so it didn't get as much crap on it, because it's already starting to get crud dropped on it. But I don't want it to be too big of a mess out here on it. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the, for now, of me working on the 4-door. I got done with exactly what I needed to do, which was get it up and running and braking and starting and everything on its own. So that was pretty fun.